Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a brand new edition of Audiomack Live, the official Afrobeats podcast. As always, thanks for sharing, subscribing, liking, commenting. We appreciate the support. Big shout outs to all the supporters as well from shoobs.com, where you can sell your tickets, your event tickets. If you're an event organizer, put your tickets on there. People can find it, locate you, sell your tickets. Or if you're just looking for a great night out with the girls or the guys or both, you can go on shoobs.com and get tickets to fantastic events. So get Shoobs in right now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, sitting right next to me is, I'm very privileged that I have the opportunity to sit next to icons within our culture, legends within our culture. And one sitting right next to me is someone that's pivotal to the Afro pop movement. I'm not even going to say Afrobeats alone. Afro pop movement is an iconic DJ, iconic personality within the culture, has done this for decades, put artists on back to back, was one of the first people to be playing Nigerian pop music when it wasn't cool to do so. Speaking about cool, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the legend, cool DJ Jimmy Jatt.
Wow. I hope that was recorded. Might as well be using that as my, opener anyway now.
Listen, I don't even think I've done it. I haven't done it justice.
I appreciate you, man. That was heavy, man.
We appreciate you. I know this is a culture that doesn't give the necessary flowers to some of the people that have laid the road and the path for people like us to walk on. So we're trying now to ensure that people get the flowers that they deserve within this culture. And someone like you, how many decades would you say now that you've been part of this game?
I'll probably say 3.5. Almost 4. Wow. Because the way I always try to look at it is when you came into prominence. But of course, before coming to prominence, you also have some years of, playing around. So if I say, okay, I've been a major force within that space since '89.
Wow.
But of course, I've been doing it before, long before.
Let me put the microphone here so when you face me, you can go in.
Exactly.
Now, you've been a DJ at the times when, hip hop and international pop and R&B music was very prominent in Nigeria.
Very true.
That's how you started.
Yes.
That's what you started playing in the game.
Exactly.
But you were also one of the few people that stuck in the homegrown talent to add to some of the international playlists that you had.
Very true.
Your earliest memories of some of the Nigerian musicians that you added to your playlist, who would you say were some of the first people you were playing back then?
Let me explain how that even came about.
Yes.
First of all, I started out as a rapper. So you then feel like a lot of people were saying, oh, this is not us. Like they weren't buying it, like these are some Americans wannabe type people, so they weren't buying it. Then I started DJing. From being an aspiring rapper, breakdancer and all that, I started DJing. So when I started DJing, I was more, because I know a lot of boys that were like me at the time that, were making those kind of music tracks, but obviously nowhere to, So I felt like I was going to, project that even as a DJ. So from my own early days, I've always infused, but it comes with a lot of backlash.
Yes.
So you get a lot of, especially because of the environment that I was mainly operating at that time. I was more on the island. I was more of the Ikoyi.
And that's where the posh kids are.
Exactly.
People
that when you throw those kind of things in, they say, well, Jimmy, man, what's this raw stuff you're playing? People weren't really down with it. Once something is Nigerian, even from outfit, from clothing, from anything, once it's Nigerian, everybody feels like, man, you're local, So it was a tough sell. But I also had that obligation because I came from that point of trying to be an artist. So I just always plug in, and I had a lot of artists, do like what you call side attractions for me at gigs like that.
So when you're playing,
exactly,
they probably come
at
and
some
perform.
point I just
just take the microphone and
so sometimes even when the music is not appealing, the guy probably has that energy that turns the people around, So that's how it started. But it was, like I said, it was with a lot of frown. Some people will tell you, don't bring your local people to this our party.
Wow.
But eventually, I think, somehow along the line, that Naija stuff came on, and I think it started with the movies, and then of course the music and fashion.
Yeah.
So you can then say, okay, people are saying proudly Nigerian, and it started embracing, a bit more. Then technology obviously played a key role.
Absolutely.
Because at that time, it wasn't most of these songs were not on vinyl, and it was only vinyl that we DJed with at that time. So when the advent of CD came, it was easier for you to bond the songs on CDs
and then play
and infuse them into your mixes.
Wow,
then the spread now became, and of course another major part was, when government actually started licensing private radio stations. And one of the terms and conditions for those radio stations was they should play predominantly Nigerian music. They didn't have it. So they had to look for it. So some of those stuff that were early stuff were actually demo tapes.
Wow.
Because they needed the content. So you look and say, oh, Dark Communications, Raper, and all those kind of places. And they played it, because they were sourcing for it, So all that kind of opened it up. And then the technology, like I said, making CDs was nothing compared to making vinyl.
Absolutely.
Vinyl, you have to be signed to a major record label
to be able to afford to pay
to even get that printed or pressed out, So, but with CD, people like us had CD burners as early as it came.
Wow.
And a lot of artists I kind of changed them from not being able to perform to being able to perform, because you could then put their songs on CDs. And then they could go around and do stuff.
DJing, that's probably one of the toughest jobs in Nigeria, to be able to tell your family that you want to make a living out of being a DJ. Walk us through what it was like for you.
For me, it was, I would say I was a bit lucky. I think I'm just a product of my household. First of all, my dad was a large music collector, and it was an importer of electronics. Wow. So I had access to gadgets. My mom, on the other hand, was also a heavy collector of some other kind of music. Like my dad was collecting all the James Brown, Fela, and all those Obey and whatever. My mom, on the other hand, was doing all the Abba and 1AM and all those kind of stuff, Bongo Zikwe and all that, Then my brothers didn't help matters because I had two older brothers. And those ones probably must have taken it from my parents. So I think those ones had everything you can think of from the 70s through the 80s.
Wow.
So I was like the guy, the introvert at home that they dump all these things on. So it was obvious that I was going to go the music route. But it wasn't DJing, because there was no,
there were no idols.
And with due respect to the DJs of the time, but I was too young to even go out. So I don't even know DJs, So it wasn't like I was partying or going to clubs, So the closest I got was my brothers having mixtapes and all that and listening to that, and then having access to equipment to mess around with, So I think that's how it took off. Eventually, obviously, when you get into it, you start looking for who are the DJs, meeting up with DJs, and learning a few more things from, And of course, at one point when I became more serious with it, so my brothers then got some guy, was one of the top DJs at the time to, school me a bit more, And
how important is it for a DJ to actually have a mentor? And someone who can put you through, because everybody's just nowadays. Everybody's a DJ.
I'll be honest with you. I think it's. Times change. Things change, and people. It's not the way we came into it. So you don't expect it to be like that now. Now, when we got into it, it wasn't. You can't even have the music collection to take off. You must be a roadie of another DJ.
To have a collection.
I was a roadie to my brothers. Luckily, that's why I said I was a bit lucky.
Yeah.
You know, I was a roadie to my brothers, so I had all their collections to work with. But I also know that, man, a lot of people came through me. You know, but it's needed, but it's not needed that much now. Because right now, that same old music collection that I have could be on a flash drive.
So,
first of all. And then the old equipment that you're thinking, someday I might be able to afford it. The technology is simpler now. It's a lot more affordable. You could just wake up and get it, and get someone to just, explain one or two things. Or maybe watch YouTube. And, the next morning you're ready. And the only thing is you then need someone to take you through what to play at the right time, because that's where one DJ is better than the other. Everybody have access to the same thing, but why is this guy better than this person? That's something you learn over time, or you understand over time. So yeah.
Now the Amapiano scene has brought in a completely different style of DJ.
Of course.
Where they add not only whistles, they add dance moves. Yeah. The music is being created by the turn of a button, reducing the bass, turning it up here. And I said it about a week ago that now it's not just enough to be a DJ that knows selections now. You have to have an extra. We know the likes of KY's is the drummer boy. People have to maybe even add a little bit of hype into it.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts about the evolution of DJing and now having to add more?
I believe that, things must always evolve for it to be exciting.
Facts.
Otherwise, it gets boring and tiring, So if everybody keeps doing it the way it was done in the 80s and the 90s, you must always bring new innovation into it, new style. Of course, the basic of DJing is still the same.
Yes.
But you have to find a way to, make it more exciting.
Yeah.
And all that comes in with especially with the equipment.
Yep.
A lot of opportunities are there for you to be able to be a DJ producer.
Yep.
On the go.
Facts.
So you might be able to, tweak the songs, make it more exciting, because otherwise everybody will be playing the same stuff.
Yep.
So it's exciting time as far as I'm concerned, yeah.
Now, let's talk about the industry in itself. Afrobeats, what we call Afrobeats here, which is to you African popular music, Niger pop, has gone through an incredible rise over especially the last decade.
Yes.
We've now ultimately seen a Burna Boy picking up a Grammy Award, Wizkid picking up a Grammy Award. Just a couple of days or about a week ago, Wizkid's Essence, platinum.
I've been in the U.S. for a while.
Yes.
That's the most played song on radio as far as I'm concerned. In the U.S. I don't know if there's any. That's a sure Grammy song. Sure, for sure. I could place the bet right now. So it says a lot. First of all, we've gotten to that point where every other thing is being is saturated and overexplored. Before the advent of Afrobeat, and for us, for some people like us, it's been there all the while.
Yep.
But the platforms were not there for the world to access it.
Yes.
So your labels were still signing artists, but they weren't signing our artists on that level.
Yep.
So the music wasn't getting across to the world. But the doors are now open for everyone. It's not, you don't need nobody signing anybody.
Yep.
I could put my stuff out and it goes around the world.
Yep.
So with that, the penetration came and the music was getting to all the places. And just before then, people had gotten enough, not enough, but a lot more of all the other stuff.
Yes.
And then they needed something fresh.
A new, fresh sound.
You understand? So the fresh sound coming as the African sound, no doubt.
No doubt.
And African sound is even more rhythmic. And if you talk Africa,
we're talking the Caribbean too.
Yeah, you understand?
Yeah.
And then even if you talk Africa at this point,
yeah,
you can't ignore Nigeria.
Talk that talk.
That's impossible.
Talk that talk.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a good time for us as a country. It's just sad that on the other aspect we're not doing so great. But with the music, it's not something you can ignore. You understand what I'm saying? And I think we're just taking our rightful space or place right now, and it can only get bigger.
I refer to the musicians and people like yourself as my personal ambassadors, as I believe that the way they have transformed the image of Nigeria and Nigerians worldwide over the last 6 years has been nothing short of remarkable. Without government intervention, government funding, or government
with
backing.
all the frustrations that come with it.
Yes. And I had the opportunity humbly to appear at the British Parliament about a couple of weeks ago, speaking about the impact of Afrobeats on, the youth back home and how this has given the young people a completely new, opportunity.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about how this has impacted the young people, particularly in Nigeria, and what you think where it can even go?
First of all, like I said, I think doors are really open, wide, very open. You just need to be able to, check what you have.
Yes.
And put it out there and go behind it.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? There are no gatekeepers. There's
Facts.
nothing holding you back.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? Although a little bit of luck does.
Absolutely.
I've also seen people with immense talent, and they didn't go too far.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've seen people that are
just
not
okay.
exactly, but they had it right, and they they fly.
Yep.
So yeah. But I think it's just a great time and especially because of the situation of the country, people are finding a way out. So the never say die spirit of an average young Nigerian is unbelievable.
Yes.
Like, I must find a way out, and I must find a way out with what I have.
Yeah.
So this is the skills that I have, and I'm going to, try and make it work for me. So that drives a lot of young people in Nigeria. And really, if you've gotten to that point where you just can't wait for not government, even if you're going to wait for anything, it's not government coming to your rescue in any way.
You're going to have to do it
yourself.
yourself.
So that hasn't helped anyone. In actual fact, that also is in the way of your, progress or success sometimes. I mean, you're planning this and this disrupt, strike here. This sort of thing. A lot of, I'm a victim. I've experienced that so many times, So you learn to, find a way out of all these things without, really, putting your mind to, the country or the system is going to help you out. Yeah.
Yes, we've seen the likes of Wizkid, we've seen Davido, Burna, Yemi, Tiwa. We've seen a host of incredible artists.
A lot of them.
But there are still some incredible geniuses on their way. Yeah. The younger
definitely.
ones.
Yeah. Definitely. And that's the good thing. That's what makes it more vibrant. And it's not a time where same people are just gonna be there for a very long period of time. Every now and then, even as a DJ, it's a lot of struggle to catch up. There's this new boy, there's this new guy, and especially with COVID, I think the sound changed. Because before
slowed
COVID,
it down. We're streaming
before
music.
COVID, everybody was just bouncing on the couch. We were just dancing.
Yep.
But with COVID, you started listening. And then the guys that actually had
that could write,
that could write exactly, so that also gave room
Omah
for
Layy
those gave room for such guys to
break
in, because before then you probably wouldn't pay attention. There was no time.
Yes.
Everybody just popping bottles, jumping on the couch. So we're quick to always, this one I go rock club, this one go rock club. That's the kind of thing. But with COVID or with that lockdown, you start wearing your headphones or your earpieces and all that, listening, what's this guy talking about? Because you can't just be shouting into my head.
Yep.
You understand? And I think that also helped the music, to be honest. And even some of the guys that were doing that,
everybody had to switch.
To start, so it make the music better, to be honest with you. So in every disappointment or unfortunate situation, there's always a gain. And I think that's part of the gain of, COVID in terms of the music.
You've dabbled into music yourself, released singles, released albums, you've worked with artists, you've written a book. What else is on your bucket list that you think that DJ Jimmy Jatt, you've worked on the radio, you've been TV, you've done it all. What else?
Let me tell you one thing about myself. I take it one day at a time, and I make the best of opportunities or new. I'm always looking for what's new. What are the opportunities? What can you make out of that? You understand what I'm saying? I'm not locked up in my own, world of thinking this is how far I can go. So I take it one day at a time. I mean, when I started DJing, you wouldn't have thought that a DJ would cross the world just traveling with a flash drive or a laptop.
Facts.
So I mean, then I used to carry crates of records.
Wow.
So you think how far can you go with all these crates? But I mean, here we are right now. You just come this far with a flash drive. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you look at it from that angle, you just keep it open and say, man, whatever the opportunities are, I'll look at it and say, what can we make out of it? And the world will always, reinvent and evolve, So yeah.
I know, we spoke briefly about you spending time with family and stuff like that. What else, apart from, I know family is important. Obviously, your DJing and your music is important. What else does DJ Jimmy Jatt love that a lot of the world hasn't really seen? What else do you kind of...
Oh, wow.
What is that other thing? Is it that you love to read books, you love traveling, you love hunting? What is
so
it?
I love traveling, no doubt. So I mean, this whole year I've been moving around a lot. I love traveling. I like meeting people and just having conversations. I tap from people's experiences. And, it could be, and when I say people, it doesn't really mean a particular class of people. I'm surrounded by a lot of young people. For some reason, I'm just young at heart, so, and I tap from all the, conversations that I have with people, so I'm trying to find other things, other areas of interest, because I'm beginning to feel like, man, guy, you're a boring guy. So once as I'm with you when we're done, I'm still gonna ask you, anything with you, So
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying,
You're always open.
I'm open, very open, very, very open, So sometimes I feel like I'm just a bit too dry and boring.
No, but
because most things I do is around music and entertainment.
But the great thing is that you've always you sat in the same spot where in everybody's minds ever since we came in contact with you, and I think that's a special gift in itself.
Thank you.
That regardless of what industry, whoever's come in contact with you, whenever they hear DJ Jimmy Jatt, they always want to. There's a moment that everybody wants to give you that time, and I think that's a
I'm
special.
very grateful for that
Yeah.
because that also keeps you going. You just know that people appreciate and respect you, and that's it's a good feeling.
The Nigerian DJs as a group has been one that you've been around and been part of, and unity and groups are very important within every industry. However, I still feel like that unity, sometimes we don't see that group as important. I remember a time, I'll take it back. I remember a time when any Afrobeats Nigerian song that gets released, there's the group that shares it, shares the instrumental, shares whatever with all the other DJs. Let's push it together. You guys speak with one voice. However, in the last 5 or 6 years, correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like that power that the Nigerian DJs as a group had is no longer there.
Okay, so I won't say that doesn't exist. The only thing is that the way the music spreads now, it's different. So, I mean, you probably even know more songs than some DJs will do because, I mean, the music is in the air.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So the artists are more focused on, I put it there, everybody gets it. So it doesn't, before it gets to the DJ, and the DJ are the ones that are,
the DJ would even see it online that, even I said this song, they move.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's, first of all, has affected, how strong. And that's not to say the DJs are not a key factor in spreading the music right now. The groups are there, But you also need to understand that DJs, like you said before, people don't need to be roadie or protege to other DJs to get out. So some new guys will get up and they just don't feel like
They need to be a part of
they
anything.
don't need to be a part of anything. There's so many people like that. Sadly,
that's
because
true.
I feel like everybody needs to be part. Even plumbers have an
Absolutely.
association,
Absolutely.
Fucking
Union, absolutely.
So I think as a professional, you must be part of
Facts.
of a professional body. And there's the DJs
That will fight for your interests.
exactly, collectively.
Yes.
So but a lot of DJs don't see the need for that. Some people feel, oh, man, I'm doing well on my own, man. Why do I need? But the day is going. I mean, I don't pray the day comes like that, but there might be a day that you feel like, man, if I was part of this collective, they might have been able to, do this for me. And then even as a collective, the voice is stronger.
Yes.
So that's what I believe, and I served in those places before. There's no DJ group or association that has been formed that I'm not part of. You understand? Even when I know that, man, sometimes I can fly without the association. I mean, a lot of times, I haven't come this far with that. But obviously, you must support an association that supports your profession. So it's an opportunity right now that I'm talking to you to just call on DJs and understand that, guy, you can't be. It's like saying you're a Nigerian and you can't even know the Nigerian anthem. I mean, it's not like you need it for any job, employment or whatever, but you should. I mean, it's something of pride, just to show that So I think people should identify with the bodies and all, but they do a lot, to be honest with you. They do a lot.
It would be crazy for me to have you in the studio and not ask for a tip for the young musicians that are trying to get in, get heard, break through.
Wow.
There's so many.
There are too many of them.
Too many. They send messages on
every
social
time,
media every time. And I just feel like there's some that I'm just trying to tell people sometimes that, listen, just keep pushing, keep doing this thing.
Exactly.
But, I feel like, from people like yourself, people like myself, they just want to hear something that might make them just do it tomorrow and do it the day after.
Yeah.
What would you say to any young musician, aspiring musician, or creative, especially coming from where we're coming from?
Okay. You need to, not have that believe that somebody's gonna help you out. Everybody's busy with their own stuff.
Facts.
If you understand what I'm saying, it's really a tough order. I hear a lot of young people saying all these big names don't want to help us.
They know they show us love.
Nobody's gonna come knock on your door and say, "Oh, what do you have? Let me take you to the next level." You have to
show it.
There are too many platforms and opportunity to at least be in the face of people. Be in the face of people at least. And I'm not saying be in the face means
social media.
Music, but you're in the face of people, like everybody's like, who's this guy? Someday someone's gonna call to say, man, what can we do together?
Facts.
You understand? Because your strength is same. You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of times I also think a lot of young people are guilty of, expectation. And
entitlement.
These people are in this position. They
should help me.
Give away. People are. If you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
And nobody's gonna knock on your door. And the truth is, everybody's dealing with something. Even the guy at the top is dealing with a whole lot.
Facts.
You might think he has it all, but he's dealing with a whole lot.
Yep.
So he wakes up every day, he's thinking, how do I promote my next song? How do I get the next show? How do I, pay my staff? Everybody has a lot to deal with. And like they say, more money, more problem. You might think the guy is all that now, but he's dealing with a whole lot. So before he sorts that out and even think, oh, who can I help? And nobody thinks of who can I help.
It's something.
Who is around me that needs, So you understand what I'm saying? You have to be in the face of people. You need to put in the work. And I don't think there's any other way. You put in the work, people get to realize that, oh, okay, this guy is doing a whole lot. Maybe, just maybe. I mean, and that's not a guarantee, but sometimes, yeah.
It helps. Is there a recipe for a hit record?
Each record is relative, though. So like I always say, I mean, good music is relative. What's good music in the church is trash in the club. No, but for real though.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? No,
Yeah.
you know I do hallelujah in the club. My boys will look you say waiting they happen. So it depends on the direction that the artist is looking at. I mean, some people are just there to serenade you. Some other people are there to make you happy and just jump on the couch.
Yeah.
So I think with some kind of music production in terms of sound is the element that determines if it's gonna be a hit. Other times it's the lyrical content of the song that will determine if it's gonna be a hit. I, don't agree with people when they say this song not get meaning. I mean, every song shouldn't have a mean. You shouldn't have a message. There's no time for that. I'm trying to drink champagne and just.
I just want to be happy.
Guy,
About you
tell-
one
don't
lamba.
tell-
Don't preach
don't
to
tell
me
the problem
about
of
you
the
broke my
country.
heart.
I don't even tell me the problem of the country. Nigeria go better. I mean, we are dealing with that already. You understand what I'm saying?
Take me away somewhere
you
else.
understand? The reason I came here is just to get myself off that. So I mean, it's a different. So I don't feel like. Okay, they're terrible music, no doubt.
Yeah.
But okay, so the fairly okay songs, if they're used in the right places, they're great music. But if they're used in the wrong place, like I said, if you play a church song in the club, that's trash, man.
Absolutely. Well, DJ Jimmy Jatt, like I said, it's always an honor to be in your presence.
Man, the pleasure's all mine. You are my.
We learn from you and stuff like that. Is there anything you'd like to say to the people? Is there anything they should expect from you soon? What we should be looking forward to?
Right now, I'm just still promoting the last single, even though it's been a few months out. A song featuring Buju and Two-Face.
What do you think about Buju, man?
Awesome guy. Awesome. I mean, I still remember him in the studio when we were doing the song. And that was long before a lot of people got to know
about him.
So for me, that's always even the trip. Like I like to work with people before I don't chase people when
they're big.
And everybody that I've worked with, I kind of have that kind of arrangement. With I've done
Jimmy's jump off was crazy.
With Two-Face, I've been, with David. I mean, I remember coming in the early days, So I like that.
To see them at the beginning.
And then you see the growth. Is that you
get
excited, that I was part of this guy's story at the beginning, So I think Buju is gonna be massive, really massive. Where he is right now is nothing compared to where he's headed. Because I've seen him work. How he's gone about making music, and we were in the studio together to do the track. So yeah.
Whew. That's crazy,
and
man.
And then what the stuff that is done thereafter,
he's gone crazy.
I'm just like, why was I in a haste with this guy? Why did I just wait? It's just crazy, man.
Can you believe Wizkid is doing 3 days, 20,000 sold out?
I'm telling you,
each
man.
day.
I was following that thing, man. 12 minutes, the tickets were all gone. And then another day has to be. Oh man, that's crazy. But it's a good time, man. It's good news. We're excited about it. It's in the U.S. now, killing everywhere,
Killing
man.
every show.
Every one of them. It's good for everyone. And for someone like me that I came from being an aspiring artist when people look at you like a low life to now be looking back and say, this was what I was telling you about, without saying it, but I'm sure you can see it now.
Everybody wants their kid to be a musician.
Exactly. So now, when I started, people used to come to my studio to flog their sons and daughters off.
For coming into the studio.
If I see you, you understand what I'm saying? So now the same mothers are bringing their daughters to you to say, my son wants to sing, or wants to be a DJ, or wants to do something around the same me that used to bounce from coming to your house. You know, it's exciting time. And for me, when I see all this, it's just like, you know, confirming on my thoughts. Even though I won't say I saw it this big from then, you know, we too were just doing it as
just pushing.
You know, we just see, let's see where this will take us. You know, but I mean, it's a great.
What about the women? I know in any industry,
yes,
it's always a toughie
yes,
for the women. Female DJs,
yes,
female musicians.
yes.
Like, yeah, we mentioned the Davids and whatever, and we also throw in the Yemis and the Tiwas, who are monsters on their own, but they have to always have a tough order to go through. What are your thoughts about?
There are multiple ways to look at that. Okay, with DJing, for instance, let me give you an example. So you look back and say, why were there fewer female DJs in the past? First of all, there were crates of records. That's not for a lady to carry about. So now it's a lot
easier,
more gender friendly.
Yes.
You know, it's just laptop.
It's not a labor.
Yeah, it's not labor.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that will explain the DJing aspect of it. With the artist, I think it's just a case of, for so long as Africans, and I don't think it's just Nigeria, but Nigerians especially, it used to be like people discourage women from anything social. You know, even to take a girl out for a night party is just like,
that's the worst of the worst.
Understand what I'm saying? So that took a while to readdress and absorb and take people to accept it. You know, that, oh, she's going to be dancing in front of people, you know, all that kind of thing. It took a while for people to, you know, embrace that. Yeah. But I think they're taking that now. Yeah. The only other thing is that, to be honest with you, and that's my conversation with record labels sometimes when I accuse them and say, yeah, why aren't you guys signing female? And they tell you, okay, if you have a guy, if you have an interview with Shopway, for instance, now, just call the guy and say, can you meet me at Shopway's place? It'll probably be 5 minutes and they'll be here. Yeah. If it's a lady, you have to tell the lady 5 days ahead. Because there's makeup, there's this, that is not as simple as PAM. Yeah. So that's what some labels executives would tell me. Like, man, Jimmy, man, you know, in terms of getting ready. And then you will even hear some of those female, not all of them, say, before, don't tell me before now, I'm not ready, I need to do my hair, I need to, when you can actually call one guy and he will just wash his face and say, man, I need to be at this station now. So for some record label, that's another issue. Then there are some other ones that will tell you, we signed this girl, we signed that girl, but just when she was on the verge of blowing, she met one top dog who says, I don't want you doing music. Damn. No, and I've seen that too. So these are some of the concerns some label executives have also mentioned, because I also always just have those conversations and say, why aren't you people only guys for this place now? You know, and they tell you some of the challenges. Oh, we signed this person, but you remember when we signed this person now, this was what happened. You know, this was what, you know, then you look and say, oh, maybe people just feel like, okay, 5 guys won't give you that stress of one girl. So why not just sign more girls? You understand what I'm saying?
So we still need to get over that perception, and we need to also make room.
But that is also changing, because I've also seen a lot of ladies. You see a lot of ladies where their work ethic is even
crazy. I see the young girl, Ira Star. Exactly. I think there's a problem there.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, she hungry.
So I feel like it's just taking time, but obviously that is being rectified in terms of, you know, the perception. Yeah. You know, and I think it's changing.
Well, my brother, once again, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Where can people find you, your social media handles?
At DJ Jimmy Jatt on Twitter, at DJ Jimmy Jatt on Instagram, at DJ Jimmy Jatt on Facebook, if you're still there, and everywhere. At DJ Jimmy Jatt.
And you can just search Cool DJ Jimmy Jatt. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Afrobeats Podcast and the legendary DJ Jimmy Jatt. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thanks, my brother.
Peace, and we're out.
Right. Right. Right.